So we're going to take a look at arithmetic. Arithmetic is your basic adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, the kind of stuff that you've been doing since your primary grades. It's important that we do this kind of stuff because if you can do it and you can do it without a calculator, it will make math so much easier for you. If you don't like math, you'll get your work done faster and you won't have to worry about it, having to do it. Things like that. So we can make things a lot easier for you if you work on some of your arithmetic skills. So this is how we're going to start, just to get things going. We'll take a look at some addition. You might hear words like sum and total when you associate with that. And again, we want to do this without a calculator. Yes, you have a calculator. It's on your cell phone and your cell phone never leaves your side. But having to actually open up your calculator app will take longer than actually calculating this out yourself. So while we're working on these, no calculators. So let's take a look at these two examples here that I have. The first one, we have 457 plus 364. Now when we're doing addition the old way like this, what we need to do is add the numbers up from the right to the left. So we start with the ones column, add those up, and then progress over. Now in this case we have 7 plus 4, which is 11. So 11 ends in a 1, and I'm going to carry that extra 1 into the tens column. So now I have the 1 from the 11, which is actually 10, 5, and 6. So that adds up to 12. And again, I put the 2 down, the last number, and then I carry that 1 again. And I have 1 plus 4 plus 3, and that gives me 8, or 821. So when we're adding these, again, start from the left, move over to the right, or sorry, start from the right and move over to the left, and always carry that extra number. So if you ever have anything that's more than 10, you'll carry the 1 over. In the next case here, it doesn't always happen that we carry the 1. So when we have 278 and 841, 8 plus 1 is 9. There is no 1 to carry, so it's just 9. And then 7 plus 4, that's 11. So I put my 1 on, and that carries over. And then we have 8 plus 2 plus 1, which is 11. So I put the 1 down. Since there is nothing extra over here, it's just 1 plus nothing, or 1. And I get 1,119. So again, with addition, start in the ones column and move your way over. Now subtraction is very similar. In the case of subtraction, you might see words like difference used as well, so find the difference between these numbers. In the first example here, I have 493 minus 267. In this case, 3 minus 7 doesn't work. It gives me a negative number. So in the case of this longhand subtraction, what we do is we actually borrow from the 9. So I cross off the 9 and I'm going to borrow 10 from it. It's in the tens column, so it brings 10 back. So that becomes an 8, and this becomes 13. So I borrowed 1 from the 9, became 8, that became 13. 13 minus 7 is 6, 8 minus 6 is 2, and 4 minus 2 is 2. And so my result in this case is 266. In the next case, we have 526 minus 489, and again, 6 minus 9, we can't do that without going into the negatives. So in this case here, I'm going to borrow from the 2. That's going to become a 1. I'm going to put a 1 with the 6 there, making it a 16. 16 minus 9 is 7. 1 minus 8, can't do that either. So I'm going to borrow from the 5. That becomes a 4. And I have 11 minus 8. So I've had to borrow twice now. In this case, 11 minus 8 gives me 3, and 4 minus 4 is 0. So I end up with a result of 37. Now most people are usually pretty comfortable with addition and subtraction. However, when we get to multiplication, or you might hear the word product used as well. When you get to multiplication and the word product's used, people get mixed up. Now you'll notice I switched these up a little bit and I put a dot instead of a multiplication sign in here. I don't like using the multiplication sign, and I recommend you avoid using the multiplication sign as you move on from grade 10, because that will become confusing, as you'll see later on when we get into some algebra. Anyways, in this case here, we have 42 times 6. So what I end up doing is I write the 42 down, and then I put the 6 starting right to left. So I start on the right side and I put the 6 down. So it becomes 42 times 6 here. 6 times 2 is 12. And very similar to the addition, I put the 2 down here and I carry the 1. Then I do 6 times 4, which is 24, plus the 1. So this here is 6 times 4 plus the 1. And so that makes 25. Now, in the next case, I have two two-digit numbers. I have 87 times 14. So I write the 87 and the 14, again, lines up everything on the right side. 4 times 7 is 28. So I put down the 8 and I carry the 2. Now, I ignore the 1 and I still stick with this 4. 4 times 8 is 32 plus the 2. So 32 plus 2, that's 34. So now I'm done with the 4. I can put a little X there that I'm done with it. And I move on to the 1. Now I have to multiply everything by the 1. 1 times 7 is 7. Sorry, I made a mistake there. This is not actually a 1, it's in the tens column. And so because it's moving on to the tens column, we add a 0 there because it's in the tens column. Now I do my 1 times 7. That makes 7. My 1 times 8 makes 8. That 2 there, you could even erase it. You don't need it anymore. It doesn't get added on. So it's just 1 times 8 for 8. Now, we have to do some arithmetic. So we add these up. 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 7 is 11. Carry the 1. And 8 plus 4 here is 12. So I have 1,218.